What's good, my zesty lemons? It is Lee, and thank you so much for stopping by Zesty Tarot. If this is your first time watching me, welcome. I really appreciate you. So today, I want to focus on why the tarot readings that you may receive is not hitting the way that you would like for them to. And I don't think it has anything, well, it may, but I think it has a lot to do with the messages that you are receiving. Oftentimes, when we receive a tarot reading, we have to understand that it is focusing on that current energy that you are in at that moment. So if you're receiving a who are you manifesting or who is manifesting you type reading, it sounds amazing. First and foremost, you have to give yourself grace and the understanding that you have a strong intuition. Some of you may not have a strong intuition, and so you just randomly pick something just for entertainment purposes, and that's okay. But when the messages come out, I feel that you are then stuck in a limbo because you're waiting for this miraculous event to happen. And what a lot of individuals fail to understand is that tarot is not supposed to be used for predicting the future. Tarot is supposed to be used to apply for, excuse me, I'm trying not to stammer, self-discovery of oneself. And oftentimes, we got to be real with ourselves. We don't like to deal with the situations that are holding us back. We look to positive messages of a love coming in, a love that we've always dreamt of, a career that we've always dreamt of, a new place to stay, just this brand new life. And that is completely understandable. But what good is it going to do you if you do not do the work? Well, what do you mean by doing the work? First and foremost, in order for you to have access to these things, it's very important for you to check in on your inner child. Your inner child is going to let you know exactly how you feel about yourself and the world around you. So if you don't think that you're good enough, how could you possibly think that the world is going to think that you're good enough? And oftentimes, and I'm even speaking for myself, you know what I mean? Because I would do these pick-a-card readings and I would gravitate towards a certain energy, and like you, it would make sense, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait, but I wasn't doing anything to make the situation my reality. Oftentimes, they talk about the result, but they never talk about, some of them don't talk about the tools that are needed to get there. And I feel bad when someone asks me for a reading and they don't get the response that they're wanting because it's solely focusing on them, what they need to know about themselves in order to even dream this big. And I'm not saying that you're not supposed to dream. What I'm saying is you have to put yourself in a position to understand and believe that you have the right to dream. And that these things that you're wanting to accomplish is possible. You can do many great things if you put your mind to it. all things are possible through God. That's my personal belief. But it requires trust in Him and trust in yourself to make the unimaginable possible. So, now that I've said all that, I want to focus on what the current energies are. I want to unveil the truth about someone's energy. Now, I understand that this is a general reading and this could pertain to anybody. Okay? If you would like a personal reading, just hit me up. I won't even charge you. Because if you're serious about trying to apply yourself, in order for you to get the things that you want, it starts with you. I will not do celebrity readings wondering if you are meant for this person. Just go ahead and cut that out. Because, no. You are not in the position, if you're watching this particular video, you are not in the position maybe someday, but not right now. Because a lot of times we think that a celebrity is going to pull us out of our financial situation. They're going to give us this emotional support that we've been longing for. We feel protected. You have to be comfortable with being protected by yourself. Not expecting for someone to be your God. In the words of Kendrick Lamar, so-and-so and so-and-so is not your savior. The only savior that there is God Himself, if you believe in God, or whatever deity that you believe in. But to try to put your trust in a human being that is flawed, that is your absolute no-no right there. So, God, thank you so much for this opportunity to read for the collective. What are the current energies that are surrounding the individual that is meant to listen to this video? Why aren't the readings hitting for them the way that they expect? What is holding them back? Okay. Some of us think that we're ready. But no. You have to be comfortable with yourself. Oftentimes we overlook, we try to get to the Empress, we try to get to the Aces, we try to get to the Wheel of Fortune, the Lovers, but really the goal is to sit with the Hermit. Can you see that? It's kind of dark in here. Hold on real quick. And plus I got some food, so you're going to see a time lapse because I'm cooking dinner. So as of right now, it is 4:45. I don't know if you can see my awesome clock, but there will be a time lapse, but I'm going to get back to this reading. So just know that it's still going to be here. But hold on. Let me turn on this light for you. Oops, knocking stuff over. There we go. That should be better. It says to surrender to the divine. So before looking at the booklet, it's asking for you to surrender. We have a lot of hyper independent individuals out here that are doing their best to try to make things work. Because you believe that the only way that you're going to get something done is through you. And you're right to a degree. But you can't be lukewarm when it comes to spirituality. Just like with religion, you can't be halfway in and halfway out. You can't be selective on when you decide to have faith versus when you want to, you see what I'm saying? So what I feel like this is saying through and through is to surrender all of your fears and talk about them with God, and let yourself listen to the things that you believe that no one else listens to. Because we already know that we live in a society where it's every man and woman for themselves. No one cares anymore. And I know that that hurts a lot of us. It even hurts me. But that longing, that need to be in someone else's presence to help you to thrive, you have to be comfortable with yourself. So first and foremost, you need to surrender to what God has for you. So this is the full moon. Let's take a look here and see what it says. Hopefully, okay, here we go. So it says, the very word climax brings all sorts of ideas and images to mind. Agreed? But is it really the feeling of the, but it is really the feeling of this card. Life is coming to a head, a point, a conclusion, or a turning point. There may be some kind of change, and possibly even some sort of emotional explosion. Tune into your emotions right now to see what it is telling you. They are most likely or very likely close to the surface. No matter when the moon cycle is when you pull this card, matters will soon conclude, and you will find out whether or not your wishes are coming true. The odds are in your favor. As a positive card, as this is a positive card, but you may need to work harder than usual to keep cool as events unfold. So attune to the moon with this affirmation right here. It says, I am getting the answers I need. Okay? So if you want to pause this or rewind it, whatever the case may be, and I'll repeat it one more time. I am getting the answers I need. And then the additional meanings for this card says, a wish you made may be about to come true. It's make or break time. There could be a sense of madness in the air. Breathe deep and stay calm. You may need to forgive someone to release negative energy. It's time to let go of the past and move on. So, two things stuck out to me. Okay? It's time to let go of the past and move on. And you may need to forgive someone in order to release the negative energy. When we are betrayed, heartbroken, the first thing we want to do is try to find something or someone better than the person that hurt us so that we can rub it in their face. We want our happiness to be their demise. But the question is, what happens if that happiness is delayed? What happens if that person moves on and you don't get to see how they would react? Now you're sitting here with all of this animosity. And it's because you need to let go of the past. This was something that was so hard for me to understand. because I was drinking the poison, hoping that the individuals that hurt me was going to get sick. But at the end of the day, I was the one that was getting sick. I started aging prematurely, gaining weight, drinking a little bit more. I closed myself off because in my mind, I thought that no one gave a damn about my well-being. Completely ostracizing individuals that did care about me. Because I just assumed, y'all don't care, y'all don't want nothing to do with me, whatever, y'all all are the same. And I ended up being the one that was hurting. So I took it upon myself to basically call myself out. Matter of fact, I did a reading assuming that I was healed. And yo, when I tell you that my reading was like, girl, I understand that you think that you're good, but no. What you're doing is you're masking your situation. You're trying to sprinkle a little bit of glitter on the bullshit, but you still stink. And I'm like, rude? But I needed to acknowledge that. So then I got a little deeper. Okay, so is this the reason why I can't manifest anything that I want? And it was like, yes, girl. Yes. Because you are not in the right headspace. And this could be some of you. You're wanting to move on, but it's time for you to just pause for a moment. Stop running. Because guess what? It's going to come back in a different disguise. You're going to continue these patterns. You're trying to break it. You want the perfect man or woman, but you're going to keep attracting the same type of emotional damage, if you will, because they're going to flock to you. You are what you attract. And I know some of y'all might be like, well, I'm not saying that you're a piece of crap. But if you don't value yourself, you don't believe that you have value. You see what I'm saying? You have the tendencies of falling for anything. We all want a version of, I'm just going to use Sierra and Russell. We all would love to have a Sierra or a Russell. But we keep getting futures. You see what I'm saying? So it's time to acknowledge that it's time for you to make that change. So I'm going to use another deck here. And I know it's cringeworthy to hear somebody say you need to surrender. Hyper independence is like, psh, you got me messed up. I ain't surrendering to nothing. And I get it. But you got to understand that the universe didn't do these things to you. And they cannot control free will. Sometimes they intervene, sometimes it doesn't. But the point of the matter is that these struggles that you're going through is to help you to open up your eyes about the patterns that you allow to continue. And I'm saying this lovingly. You are the problem. Hell, I'm the problem. You know what I mean? So it's easy for me to say this. This is not coming from, and please don't take it like I'm trying to bash you. I am coming at you with love. And sometimes you got to experience that tough love. Don't let my tone make you feel some type of way. That's just passion coming through. That's it. There's no aggravation. There's no anger. There's no animosity. This is who I am. And I feel like this reading is overdue. You know what I mean? So it says to rest, renew, and recharge. What does your body crave and need right now? Considering that these two cards, and I feel like that's exactly what the universe is wanting to give you. It's wanting to give you that rest, that rejuvenation. It wants you to rest in it and understand that you don't have to run anymore. It needs you to stop for the moment and understand, like, you're trying to run away from this situation, but honestly, you're still in the wheel. You're like a hamster rolling around or spinning around or a carousel, however you want to look at it. But until you stop and allow God to help you the way that you need to be helped. And I mean, give everything to him, her, however you look at God. Give it all up. Step into the 10 of Wands and drop the burdens. And trust that everything is going to work out. There is a affirmation that I have on my vision board, and it says, I am lucky. Everything works out for me. Whenever I'm in doubt, I always look at that. I am lucky, or you can slash out the lucky and put I am blessed. That everything works, because everything works out for me. You have to put some reminders in place. Kind of like how you're, like if you're planting a garden, you want to separate each crop from one another so that you can handle each one the way that it needs to. So you have a little carrot sign right here. You have a cabbage sign right here. You have a radish sign right here. You see what I'm saying? So don't even know if those even align with the same seasons, but you get what I'm saying. So right now you are in need of nutrients of the soul. Every day is an opportunity to discover something new about yourself. Only if you allow it. If you need to separate from your friends, do so. Hermit energy. Pull yourself back. Do some Reiki videos on YouTube. Or do some guided meditation videos. Or go to church. Whatever the case may be, this is about you. So if the world is making you feel like you're not good enough, then go to those avenues so that you can learn more about yourself, because we shouldn't be trying to get validation from other people anyways. Though I will say that I would appreciate if someone that was watching my progress would say, hey, I noticed that. A little encouragement goes a long way. But if you're surrounded by individuals that aren't doing that, then pull yourself in so that God can work on you. And that you won't need their validation. I'm still in that phase where I'm getting to the point where I don't want to have anyone's validation. As a matter of fact, I just put on my other board, I am not meant to fit in. I don't want to fit in with nobody. But yet this world is hard. It makes you feel like you got to. No, you don't. You have the right to dream about the things that you want. And I think it's very important for us to keep some of those dreams to ourselves. Because one day you might bump into somebody that will be like, that's stupid. And then that's going to make you feel some type of way. You know what I mean? As long as it's not hurting you or the person involved or anyone, I don't see why, you know what I mean? You just gotta vet the individuals that you share some of your goals with. So the next one, what was that? Number 43. So let's take a look at that. And if you break that down, that's a number 7. It's giving me Chariot energy. And isn't 7 a lucky number, like divination or I can't even say that word. Basically a divine number. Where is this number? Okay, so we got 43. Or sorry. There we go. Sorry, I'm struggling. All right, it says you are going through a massive shift right now. New awareness and energetic upgrades are occurring all around and within you. As a result, perhaps you feel more tired than normal. This is a time of grand inner work for you. Going within yourself instead of pushing and trying to achieve is important in this phase. Give yourself permission to be instead do. My stammering. Give yourself permission to be instead of do. As you give yourself this time of rest, your body will renew itself and rejuvenate at a cellular level. All of what you've been working towards energetically, spiritually, and physically now wants to integrate into your body. Think of this time as an upgrade. Just as your digital devices shut down before it's about to get an upgrade, the same is required from your body. So, for some of you that feel like, we'll use the iPhone or the Android for an example, and I'm speaking from an iPhone experience. I noticed that when it's time for an upgrade, my stuff just ain't working right. Like, the browser doesn't work the way that it needs to. Everything is like delayed. And then I get frustrated. I'm like, oh, let me check to see what's going on. And it's usually around the time that I'm really trying to push this device to do what I want. And once I see that it needs an upgrade, then I'm like, darn it. Then on top of that, I got to make sure that I have enough space. You know, we had to make sure that we can let go of some stuff. So I have a whole bunch of nonsense that's on my phone that I need to get rid of, but for whatever reason, I just hold on to it. And it's causing my device to not move in the way that it needs to. So with that being said, I think that's what's going on within your body, whether, you know, spiritually, energetically, however it goes. You are getting exhausted. You are getting boggled down from the energies of everyone that you come in contact with. So while you're trying to run away, you're too lethargic. You're out of breath. And you're slowing down. So you might as well just stop and let God take care of you. Now hold on just a second. I got to get the food. All right, I'm back. And so just to prove to y'all that I ain't mess with nothing, we still have the same cards: surrender to the moon, or the divine, I'm sorry, and then rest and renewal. So now we're about to get into the heart of why these cards or these oracles was chosen. God, thank you so much for this opportunity to read for whoever this message is meant for. Can you tell me why you chose these cards in relation to my original question? Why doesn't the videos that they've watched, why does it not hit for them? Why aren't they manifesting the things that they were told or even believe? was going to happen for them. And I kind of feel like, I don't want to say kind of, I feel like some of these things that you are longing for are possible, but you got to switch some things up within yourself. Some of you, your person requires, well, to meet your person, it requires for you to get an education of some sort, or put your best foot forward. And it shouldn't be about trying to get to the end goal. You obviously want to get this education because it's going to benefit you. Sorry, I'm trying not to choke. Spicy sauce. But I don't know if maybe the job that you might acquire may allow you to meet said person. That's a possibility. Some of you, it may require for you to go to the gym, to get on a routine and exercise. And I'm not trying to say anything about your body or anything. I'm not trying to shame at all. But let's be real. Some of us have health conditions that require for us to have, to do exercises. You can meet a best friend there. Anything could happen, but it requires for you to make the first step. Because truth be told, the universe isn't going to hand out anything unless it believes that you are ready. There's something under my nail. Sorry, that drives me nuts. Sorry, can't stand that. Okay, whoop, hold on. I kind of feel it strong right here. Okay, it's between these two. Let's see. Yeah, I feel it right here, so. So, balance. There is a need of balance here. And it says, stick to your truths and everything will turn out just fine. And so how I look at that is, it's asking for you to stop asking individuals what it is that you should do. Please understand that when you're asking someone what they would do, it's just that. It's what they would do. And it may not align with what you actually would do. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's very important for us to, if you're going to ask questions, then I would suggest you speak to a therapist or a pastor or whomever you feel comfortable being your authentic self with. And let's be real, sometimes we're not, we can't be true to our authentic selves even with our friends. Some of us can, some of us cannot. If you have a friend that is the type that's going to call out quote unquote nonsense for what it is, you may want to hold back simply because you don't want that person to deem what you believe to be true for you as nonsense. Because our friends, our family does leave a lasting impression on the way that we move. So, but through and through, it says to stick to your truth and everything will turn out just fine. And also, when it comes to the truth, that also means that you need to be willing to let go of any type of delusions that you are feeding yourself. Okay? The next one says, there is beauty to be found in every experience. And we have the Empress card here. So considering the fact that we have the Justice card and we have the Empress card together, some of you, I believe that if you were to work on your mother wounds, that would definitely play a huge role in how you perceive yourself, especially, I mean, any age, but I feel like I'm hitting home for those that are the firstborn. You know what I mean? Um, a lot of her trauma was placed on you. Maybe you were forced to grow up too soon while she was out playing around. Or maybe she unfortunately got addicted to drugs and just couldn't be the mother that she needed to be for you. So therefore, it was either just you or you had other siblings that had to be taken care of, and the responsibility was solely on you. And maybe this person, your mother, may have a hard time with taking accountability. But the first thing that you have to understand is that these things that have been done to you was not to punish you, or it wasn't something that you've done in your past life. These things that happened was meant to grow you, to build character, for you to, when you have children one day, if you don't have children, to learn this is not the way that I want my children to be raised. This is not the way that I'm going to treat children as a whole. I'm going to exercise love. So the Empress is pregnant with potential. Okay? You have creativity within you. Okay? You have a gift of compassion. So you would do well as a human, I can never say this word, but humanitarianism, humanitarianism, whatever. And compassionate. Basically, like, you could be a nurse. You could be a health aide where you're working with people, a social worker. Maybe you're going to be into doing charity work, whatever the case may be. Transmute that pain that you experienced and put love into the universe. All of this negative self-talk is going to be and should be filtered through you. But it requires for you to surrender first. God has to work on you. Some of you are in the beginning phases, and just like it said here, you're going through an upgrade. So yeah, things feel a little wonky right now. You feel off balance. You feel stuck. Like every time you try to move forward, something is holding you back. That's the universe saying, like, I'm gonna let you wear yourself out. And I'm gonna come to you as soon as you tell me that you're ready for me. Okay? So next card we have the Seven of Pentacles, and it says, nurture what you have and see how it grows. The lesson here, especially when it says nurture what you have, it's asking for you to nurture yourself. To take care of yourself is the ultimate goal, because then you'll be able to exude that awareness towards everything else. You will be okay with what you have right now. Identify that lack mentality. Maybe you burn money in your pocket. Maybe a situation is going to come around where you're like, you know what, I really gotta figure out how to do this. So now you're going to go to a financial advisor that is going to help you to budget your money the way that it needs to be budgeted. Instead of thinking to yourself like, oh, I gotta have this right away. Because all things should blossom through patience. Nothing should be rushed. You don't have to have that coat. You don't have to have those shoes. It's a want. There's a difference between needing and wanting something. And I believe that God is going to bless you with what you need first before you get what you want. The things that you want will come once you've got to the level of understanding that you should get to. Sometimes it'll even come as a blessing out of the sky, or out of the sky, or in the sky. Excuse me, that's what I was trying to say. To kind of give you a glimpse of what to expect. So it's not so much of the universe isn't going to give you these things. It's just that right now, the way that your mindset is, you would not be able to handle it. And you have to be okay with understanding that, yeah, that's true. I'm not ready. Yes, I want a man, but I got to work through my trust issues first. And my dad issues, the way that he left me, the way that he did this and this and this. I got to work through those and understand that none of that was my fault. And most importantly, learn how to forgive. Don't forgive them for them. Do it for yourself so that you will be able to move on. Because, and believe you me, holding on to that, it's only going to make you sick. And you're going to be closed off. Bottom of the deck, we have the Temperance. So it says, let go of self-imposed limitations. So this is a moment where you would have to be patient with yourself and heal and integrate. You know, this is alchemy here. You know, taking the time to, she has a little bit of water here. And she also has some tea. And it's not so much do I want to drink the tea or do I want to drink the water? She's going to do both. But she's going to take her time with it. She's using, I believe that she's using that water to flush out the tea. You see what I'm saying? So if there are things that you want to nip in the behind, I encourage you to do so, but it's very important, and these two go hand in hand. It is very important for you to keep a balance and do things in moderation. Okay? So let's go ahead and pull a final message. And if you have any questions, my email address is, it should be in my bio, I think. You are more than welcome to ask me a question pertaining to this. The Seven of Pentacles, I also want to point out, it's also based upon the seeds that you plant. You know, when it says nurture what you have and see how it grows. You know, the manifestation, if you're wanting to manifest good things, you know, make sure that the seed, metaphorically, is full of intention for growth and love. Because a fig tree, I think that's one of them, a fig tree is not going to bear, you know, malnourished fruit. You shouldn't expect for it to. So you got to check the foundation. That foundation is your current mindset. All right. What are the final messages for this reading guide? Okay. Catch it from. It says, let your feelings out. All of them. Even the ones that scare you. Yes. Surrender yourself to the divine. Because God knows you inside and out. And if you don't believe in God, then okay. I can't change your mind about that. But speak to a therapist. Whoever you deem as someone that you feel comfortable with. Let all of your feelings out. Or even talk to yourself. Write it down in a journal and read what you're saying to yourself. You know, I missed the ability to write because, you know, I had a stroke. For some of you that didn't know, yes, I had a stroke 4 years back. I miss being able to read. I'm getting better. I am getting better, but I do have my limitations. So what I would do is I would record myself and then listen to myself later. You know what I mean? So you can do that too. Get all of the ick out and then go back and listen to it or go back and read it and process what came out of you. The next card says to take responsibility for your choices. This is your life to live. You need to own it. Don't rely on somebody else to make things better for you. You have to be willing to do that yourself. Because when you align yourself properly, you're naturally going to shift the way that you move. Not saying that you're going to push people behind, but I am going to say that individuals that have that lack mentality, they're going to have to stay behind a little bit to kind of watch you. I want you to be an inspiration for individuals that, are in the same boat. Yeah, you guys could be there together to share and, to share the same sentiment, but all you're doing is just exchanging that energy. And if you truly want to get out, it's time for you to take responsibility for your choices. And I feel like these are the things that reading should say to you, so that you can understand why that person is going to come into your life. You would look at it from a different perspective, not so much of, well, it's about damn time because I've been lonely for... No. Okay. The next one says, life can be hard, life can be wonderful. Which will you choose to focus on? So this right here makes sense with the Seven of Pentacles. Nurture what you have and see how it grows. Okay? So if you see things from a loving perspective, which is what the Empress card is asking for you to do, see things from a nurturing maternal aspect. Heal those mother wounds first. And if it's not mother wounds and it's father wounds, still do the same thing. Talk to your mother about these things, perhaps, or maybe go to someone that has that maternal energy about them. But understand that you are so full of potential and compassion and beauty, and that you should see your life as that. You're not lacking in anything per se. You are exactly where you are supposed to be at this time. It's just about, okay, so I know I'm not, excuse me, get it out, Lee. I'm not trying to sound like a hypocrite or go back and forth. You do have a lack mentality. This is what we're trying to break away from, okay? But as you are going through that, you're still on the right path, because you're on the right path to discovery of more about yourself. You are in the pattern, or you're in the mode, the upgrading mode, so that new things can be added to you. You see what I'm saying? So this energy is going to transmute. Some of you will have your eyes open and you're going to be like, I see. Some of you may not. And it's okay. There's no rush. There is no rush. But the goal is what is presently in front of you. Are you going to look at it with a lack mentality? Like, yeah, I got $2 to my name, I'm broke. No. But like, hey, I'm not broke yet, because I got $2. I had $1 and I used it, but I had $1 on my vision board that I penned there. And I continue to say, I am blessed because everything works out for me. And let me tell you, I've been unemployed for 4 years. And I remember I did a reading on myself, and God referred to me as his trust fund baby. There were situations where I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this or this or this. And I have been afloat ever since. Yes, I would love to go to a concert. Yes, I would love to go on a trip, but that is not my time yet. And those are not necessarily necessities. Those are wants. That time will come when my time comes. So I'm comfortable without having those external factors. I have a roof over my head. You have no idea how long I have prayed to move into a house. I wanted to get away from the apartment life. Couldn't stand it anymore. And here I am in a house. I got the car in my dreams. I knew it was going to take some time, but I loved the hell out of my little van before it got totaled. You know, it's all about how you move in the present moment, because I do believe that the universe is watching us carefully. Do things in moderation. Don't rush anything. Especially your healing. Don't rush the process. Trust the process more than anything. Okay. Look around for some signs. The universe is speaking to you. When you remove all the clutter, I'm going to pull one more. When you remove all of the clutter that has you boggled down or feel some type of way, when you do not medications, but when you do meditations or whatnot, you will be able to listen to your higher self, God, whomever you deem as your guardian angel. You know, you're going to start seeing different perspectives, because your perspectives are going to change. You know, it could be in the sign of your favorite song, and even though you love that whole song, there might be something that's going to stick out about a verse that you really didn't pay attention to. You just sang along to it, but that verse may come out and you're going to be like, yo, that hits different. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's all about how you are willing to move while things are working behind the scenes. You do not have to be hyper independent when it comes to the universe. The universe is not going to let you down. And some of these readings, unfortunately, some of them do thrive off of the energy of the heart, the brokenhearted. And some of them may do a little bit of fear mongering. Talk about, oh, somebody is doing dark magic on you. That's none of your business. Because how in the hell are you supposed to know if this person is doing this or not? You see what I'm saying? You ever thought that maybe you're the one that's doing the dark magic if you believe that things aren't working out for you? Sure, it's one thing to acknowledge it, but if you keep saying that over and over again, it's just as good as a positive affirmation. This time, this is fear-based energy. You see what I'm saying? So watch how you talk about your life. I had to learn that. The tongue is very powerful. So the next card, it says to bet on yourself, take chances, reach for your dreams. You got this. Don't rely on anybody else to do these things. And I do think that this will be the outcome for you. But you see how many things that you have to get to before you get to that. And it starts with surrendering and balancing and going through any type of paternal, maternal wounds and taking care of yourself. Taking responsibility, taking accountability for your actions and your choice. Once again, the healing, doing things in moderation. And while you're doing meditation, pray, do affirmations, meditate, whatever the case may be, but be open to any signs. And we're not talking about just some grand sign that's going to be like, you are meant to be. No, they're going to be subtle that only you would understand. Okay? Rest, rest, rest. Allow God, the universe, to recharge you because you are currently going through an update. Practice gratitude. Start small. If you need to, get a mason jar. And we're not talking about, oh, I'm grateful for my family. No, it needs to be deeper. I'm grateful that I have a compassionate heart. I'm grateful that I'm patient. I'm grateful that I'm opening myself up to learn how to be more patient. I'm grateful because I am a forgiving person, or I'm learning to be a grateful person. You see, those things. Remember that life is all about the mindset. It can be wonderful and it can be hard as hell. But this is where you have the opportunity to choose that. God can't tamper with free will. And again, bet on yourself. Because once you get there, you won't have to rely on somebody else's, well, if I were you, you let them keep that if I were you. And see how that would work out for them. I'm not saying that it wouldn't. But I'm just saying, like, if they were in a situation like that, then watch them and see how it worked out for them. Because you got to be careful. Sometimes people will just throw stuff out there, but don't really have the intentions of doing any of the things that they say that they're going, would do. It's just, empty ambition, if you will. Okay? So, if you enjoyed this reading, I would appreciate a thumbs up. You can hit subscribe. You can drop a comment. Most importantly, tell your friends about me. And remember this, when life gives you lemons, always keep it zesty. Take care, everyone. Bye.